The Real McCoys, starring Walter Brennan, created by Irving Pincus.
Want you to meet the family known as the Real McCoys. That's Grandpappy Amos, the head of the clan. He roars like a lion, but he's gentle as a lamb. And now here's Luke, who beams with joy since he's made Kate Mrs. Luke McCoy. From West Virginia they came to stay in sunny California. Old Grandpappy Amos and the girls and the boys of the family known as the Real McCoys.
Look, you ain't got the sticky board set up yet.
No, I've been reading, Grandpa.
Well, that's a waste of time.
Grandpa, it so happens that I'm reading something that could be important to us. It's about a fellow that's trying to get into politics.
Yeah, see? More trouble.
Well, this fella, Jim Slade, wants to run for congressman. He's coming out for the farmer.
For the farmer?
Well, that's what he says.
Well, now, that's a breath of fresh air in a closed barn. What'd you say his name was again?
It was Slade. Jim Slade. And it says right here, he's aghast at the low prices farmers are being paid for their crops.
Aghast?
Well, that's politics for Ryle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he says that he feels for the farmer, having been a farm boy himself.
Oh, yeah? He was a farm boy, and now he's running for Congress, eh?
Well, no, Grandpa, so far he's just trying to get nominated.
I'd like to hear a whole lot more from that fella.
Well, maybe you'll get your chance, Grandpa. It says here that he's stomping the county. And this valley sure is part of it.
Yeah? You know, Luke, I'd like to welcome that fella. I'll get a pencil and paper, and you write him an invite, eh?
No, wait, Grandpa. A man like that ain't going to stop by somebody's house.
Well, why not?
Well, he just gives speeches in town squares and such.
Well, what makes a man more thirsty than making speeches? Besides, what's more fit than a man taking refreshments from the folks that's on his side?
Yeah, well, I know, Grandpa, but you just...
Here it is, all weighted up now. Write this. Dear Mr. Slade. No, don't write that. Dear Mr. Slade, Your Honor.
And so us McCoys would be real proud if you stop by and take refreshments with us and maybe meet a few of our neighbors. Respectfully yours, and so forth and so forth.
Hey, what are you trying to do? Go for ground round? Take it easy, will you? Go on, what's next?
Oh, wait a minute, Jim. Let's not toss this one out so fast.
What, you mean where I should visit them yokels? Oh, come on, Jerry. Who needs them? Things are going great.
Yeah, in the city, but if we don't get the yokels on our side, you can kiss the nomination goodbye.
You think we really ought to go visit them?
McCoys, absolutely. Look, we'll get more interviews and pictures. Jim Slade rolls up his sleeves with his kind of folks.
Yeah.
And then you and Gladys can spend a day there and show them that you're a real family man, a gentleman.
But, Jimmy, you promised.
Gladys, will you kindly keep your trap shut?
But, Jimmy...
If I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. Don't talk to me before noon.
All right.
Go ahead, Jerry. Write the yokels will be there.
Not enough time. I'll wire them instead. Give them a chance to get some more of their friends there.
Okay. Hey, what are you trying to do now? Make bread? Cover me up. Blow. Relaxed enough.
Oh, Jimsy, we're not going to go to some old farm, are we?
You are, Jerry. It's good for the campaign.
But we were going to go down to Caliente, where they got that cha-cha-cha music, and they make those crazy vodka gimlets that make you feel all, you know.
Oh, no. When the farmers see a candidate, they want to see him with his faithful wife at his side.
Oh, what do you want to be a stuffy old congressman for? I love you just the way you are. A plain, ordinary millionaire.
But don't you understand? I want to have dignity, importance. I want to be famous.
Aren't you famous enough from your trash collection business? All over town there are barrels with your name on it.
I don't mean that kind of famous. I mean with class. Like... what's the use explaining? With you, nothing sinks in.
I no longer wish to converse with you. That was a very ungentlemanly and unpremeditated remark.
I'm all ready for him.
Sam, Sam Watkins and the others are all outside waiting.
Yeah, you ought to be here pretty soon now.
Let's see now. Telegram says 2:30.
Aren't you just as excited as can be, Grandpa?
I sure am. And you know, on occasion like this, I feel that we rightly ought to have old Gloria flying out front there.
Hey, Grandpa, he's here.
Right on time, huh? Howdy, Your Honor.
This is Mr. Slade.
Rightly proud to have you with us. I'm Miss McCoy.
Well, howdy, neighbor. Right nice to know you. Meet the little woman.
The feeling is mutual, I'm sure.
This is my campaign manager, Jerry Young.
This is my grandson, Luke. And the rest of these folks are our neighbors, and you'll find that they're all for you, too.
Mr. Slade, I'd like you to meet my wife, Kate, and this is my little sister, Hassie. That's Mr. and Mrs. Slade there, and that's Mr. Young.
Why, pleased to make your acquaintance, I'm sure. Oh, Mrs. Slade, wouldn't you like to come in the house while the men chat?
Would I? This heat is starting to wilt my eyelashes.
Right this way.
Gents, I can't tell you how good it is to be back on the farm again. Oh, that good farm air, huh, Jerry? I hope you boys don't mind if I relax. I never could get used to these city clothes.
What I tell you, fellas? Jim Slade is one of us.
Yeah, that's right, gents. Amos McCoy is right. I'm one of you. I'm for the farmer right down the line, all the way.
About that, Mr. Slade, how do you stand on farm parity?
Well, I've been giving that a lot of thought, gentlemen. Yes, sir, a lot of thought.
Well, Mr. Slade, I think what the men want to know here is what's your stand.
My stand is your stand. I see eye to eye with you on that whole situation. That's the only fair deal for the farmer. And I promise, you just send me to Washington, and I'll fight for you boys every inch of the way.
I told you, fellas, he's the man for us.
Well, they sure do seem to like him.
Sounds that way.
But they'll probably be in a minute. I'll go fetch us a nice cool drink.
Boy, I could sure use one. Mrs. Slade, did you used to live on a farm, too, like your husband? Well, no, hon. But my brother did. Oh? He was on an honor farm.
Yes, sir, Mr. Slade. I say you just got yourself a lot of votes out there.
Yeah?
Right, Luke?
Oh, yeah, they sure took to you all right, Mr. Slade.
And you know why? Because you don't put on no airs. You're just a regular fella.
Well, there's nothing fancy about us. Me and the little woman are just simple farm folk, really.
And you know what, Grandpa? Mrs. Slade's brother used to live on an honor farm.
Well, honor farm? Well, ain't that where
That's where they do welfare work. Public spirited, like Mr. Slade here.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what a beautiful home you got here. And real lived in. The way a farm home should be.
Well, thank you. Won't you set yourself down on my rock here?
May I? Thank you, Mr. McCoy. Oh, does this bring back memories? What I wouldn't give to be back on the old farm again. Gladys, how many times you heard me say that?
Counting now. 1.
Yeah, she means today.
Well, how about a nice cool drink, everyone? That's for me. Lemonade or iced tea?
Aw, hon, haven't you got something with a little more bounce to it, like a dry martini?
Gladys.
Well, I'm not sure.
We can handle that. Come on, Luke.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Why don't we all sit down?
Grandpa, how do you make a martini?
Oh, there ain't nothing to it. I once seen Cary Grant make one for Hetty Lemon.
How'd he do it?
Well, he just took a certain amount of something, and he took a certain amount of something else, and he put them together and he mixed them up. Get a little ice in it.
Oh, yeah. What was the something?
Well, we tell you some of Les Caller's moon he sent us from West Virginia.
Grandpa, you ain't going to feed Les's moonshine to a healthy human being.
Why not? Miss Slade said she wanted something with a bounce to it, and she is our guest.
You know we only use that for medicinal purposes. Like when one of us is practically dying. Even then, I ain't so sure but what it wouldn't finish us off.
Still nice and fresh.
Hey, that's good.
Well, it ought to be. It's imported. All the way from West Virginia.
Say, Mr. McCoy, the Slades would just love to see the rest of the farm.
Oh, we sure would. Wouldn't we, dear?
Oh, no, you go ahead. I'd rather stay here and get acquainted with Mrs. McCoy.
But, sweetheart.
Say, ain't that just like a woman? They'd rather stay here and gossip.
Yeah,
come on. Show you around.
Well, here's to farming.
Now, here's an animal we're mighty proud of. That's blue ribbon stock.
Well, I can see why. Now, there's as fine a specimen as I ever seen. Does he give much milk?
Well, no, not too much.
Oh? What's her name?
Harry.
Yeah, that's a bull, Mr. Slade.
Oh, well.
Jim, you just got to get those new glasses. He's been reading up on so many laws to help the farmers, he's been hurting his eyesight.
Yeah, that's right. What's next?
Something else we're mighty proud of. This way. Well, here it is, our hen house.
And a fine one it is.
Say, Mr. McCoy, these hens... They are hens, aren't they?
I guess your friend ain't a farm boy like you, huh?
Yeah, they're white leghorns. Darn good layers, too.
Oh, yes, the best.
Yeah, I wish you'd tell Jim Phillips that.
Phillips?
Yeah, he's a farmer down the road a bit. Yeah, he has Rhode Island Reds, and he keeps lording it over everybody that his eggs is tastier than ours.
And we're getting gall-done tired of Phillips and his gall-done Rhode Island Reds, I'll tell you that.
Well, I don't blame you. There ought to be a law.
The law?
Sure. What do we need with hens from some other state? I say California eggs should come from California hens.
You ain't joking.
Well, I'll show you whether I'm joking or not. Jerry, make a note.
All right.
When I'm elected, I'll introduce a resolution to keep Rhode Island hens out of California. Let them stay where they belong.
Say, we better get back to the house now. The press should be here soon.
The press?
They're from the city papers. We took the liberty of inviting them to take pictures and interview with Jim Slade and his kind of folks. Say, you don't mind, do you?
You mean folks are going to read about this in the papers? Going to get more votes for Mr. Slade?
Well, that's the idea. So, in a way, Mr. McCoy, you're doing your bit to help get the farmer's man into office.
Yeah.
Grandpa, I thought that fella, Mr. Slade, said that he was raised on a farm.
Must have been a peculiar kind of farm, the way he was talking.
I guess you'll be thrilled if your husband gets elected. And be stuck in Washington? For my taste, that place is a cemetery. But think of the honor. Helping to run the country.
A lot he knows about that after being in the trash collection business all his life.
All his life?
Started as a pickup man. Say, that was good.
I thought Mr. Slade used to be a farmer.
The closest he ever got to grass was the Santa Anita racetrack. Say, you don't happen to know how to make one of these McCoy martinis. Oh, there you are. And where's that nice Mr. McCoy? I sure could use one of his martinis.
I think you got enough, dear. Jerry, Gladys is going to be late for her speech.
Speech? Oh, yeah, the League of Women Voters.
Now, don't worry, dear. Jerry will drive you and get you there in plenty of time. I'll grab a cab later.
Luke, Grandpa, there's something awful wrong about this. That Mr. Slade ain't never been a farmer.
Well, you can say that again. Luke, you should have never written that invite.
Well, you told me to write it. You even dictated it.
You shouldn't have listened to me.
The bad thing about it is that we got our friends over here and got them believing in that Mr. Slade.
They'll go praising him to the skies.
The whole thing's our fault. Here's a man comes in and promises to give this and give that, and without even finding out about it, we climb on his bandwagon.
Sorry, folks. The little woman asked me to apologize for rushing off. But you know how them faithful wives are. Always want to help the husband with the campaign. Say, speaking of campaigns, Mr. McCoy, you might be able to help me, too.
Me? Yeah?
Yeah. Now, when the reporters get here, I'll have plenty of general statements to give them, but I want to pinpoint it. I want to tell them what the farmers around here really want.
You want me to tell you, huh?
Exactly. Now, you just tell me your ideas, and I'll pass them right along to the people. That way we'll be helping each other.
Yeah, we would.
Well, Grandpa, you ain't gonna...
Now, son, it's a duty of every citizen to have a candidate, especially when he's for the farmer like Mr. Slade here is.
But, Grandpa.
Now, hold it, the both of you. See, why don't you tell them about that law keeping the Rhode Island Reds out of California?
Oh, you think the folks will like that?
Oh, you bet, Mr. Slade. Why, that is a vote-getter for sure.
There's a lot of them who can tell you.
You really going to come out against Rhode Island Reds?
Right? We don't need no out-of-state chickens in California.
This is certainly an issue we've never heard before.
I'll tell you the reason why. The other candidates don't understand the farmers' problems like I do.
Tell them how you're coming out about that 40-hour week.
For farmers?
Right? Why should a farmer have to get out at 4 or 5 in the morning when the factory and the white-collar workers don't have to start until 8 or 9?
Mr. Slade, under this 40-hour week, doesn't that mean weekends off?
It certainly does. How else can the farmer get out on the old golf course and swing the clubs? Don't ever forget, this is America.
What about the dairy farmers who have to milk their cows every day?
Why?
For the sake of the cow.
I'm not thinking about the cow. I'm thinking about the farmer. The man behind the cow.
Can we quote you on this?
Gentlemen, you can quote me on everything I said today. And I hope you do. Right on page 1.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, Mr. Slade. I'm sure I can guarantee you a page 1 story in my paper on this. Well, we got to get back to town if we're going to hit the first editions.
Oh, buddy. I wonder if I could get a lift back to town with you.
Well, sure, if you'll leave right now.
Be right with you. Maybe I can think of a few more things to tell you, huh? Mr. McCoy, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank you for everything. You've given my campaign just the shot it needed. I'll be running.
Yeah. But not for Congress.
To the surprise of nobody, Jim Slade today withdrew from the congressional race to return to his trash collection business. Our guess is that his first pickup will be his farm platform.
I said I had to do you, Grandpa. You sure fixed his wagon good.
I sure did, didn't I? You know, I'd give half of his crop to see the expression on his face when he found out.
Or all the milk our bull Harry could give.
Who is it?
Jim Slade.
Open up. Now, you stay out of this. I'll hand this machine. Well, take it easy. You just open the door, step side fast now.
McCoy!
Wait.
Mr. McCoy, I want to talk.
It's going up, Mr. Slade. What do you want?
McCoy, you don't think there's hard feelings.
Well, ain't they?
No. Look, I'm in big deals every day. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So this time I lost, and I deserve to lose. That was a pretty wild idea, me being a candidate. You know, you did the right thing knocking me out of the box.
You mean it?
Never meant anything anymore in my life. And I learned something else out of all this. I learned that a man has no right to represent the farmers of this great nation unless he really knows their problems.
Well, now, that only makes sense.
A matter of fact, the best man for the job would be a farmer himself. A man with practical experience who knows the feel of the good earth.
Well, now you're talking.
But where would we ever find anybody? Hey, wait a minute. Of course. Of course. Why didn't I think of it before? The perfect man for the job.
Who's that?
You, Amos McCoy, for the Congress.
Me? Why, you're joshing.
Well, now, wait a minute, Grandpa. Maybe he ain't joshing.
Hey, Mr. McCoy is perfect. Look at that honest face.
Well, it takes more than an honest face. It takes book learning.
Mr. McCoy, once we get you elected, you won't have a thing to worry about. Jerry and me and the rest of the boys will set up offices down there in Washington. We'll take care of everything for you. We got it all worked out.
Well, now, look. If I'm going down there for Congress, what's you two fellas coming down for?
Every congressman wants to,
Struck out again, didn't you?
Hi. Hey, are we going to Caliente or not? I don't want to miss that daily double.
Gladys, it ain't 12 o'clock yet, and you're talking.
He didn't fool you, did he? I can tell.
Oh, why don't you button up?
You owe me $10. This is one bet I knew I wouldn't lose. He's too smart for you. I tell you, once a trash man, always a trash man.
Is he tame?
He's so crude. Many's the time I thought about leaving him, but I don't know. It would mean breaking up a happy home. Well, bye.
Bye.